In this video, you'll discover how I do multiple day fasting. Hi ladies and gentlemen, it's Dr. Z and welcome back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, it is a pleasure to have you here. Be sure to subscribe, hit that bell notification, join our notification community, and I'm going to help you excel your health and your life. In this video, we're talking about multiple day fasting. This is a topic I get a lot of questions about. So when we look at multiple day fasting, a lot of people ask me questions because they know that I've implemented this into my lifestyle for many years. Whenever I have some different health challenges pop up, I always turn to some multiple day fasting in order to help reverse these different health challenges and allow my body to heal itself. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to talk about how I do multiple day fasting, and also at the end of this video, I'm going to talk about how I end my multiple day fast that most people have never heard of. So stick around to the end so I can share that information with you. But let's talk about fasting in general. Now, when we talk about doing a multiple day fast, it kind of freaks a lot of people out. You know, when we talk about intermittent fasting, 1 meal a day, some people get stressed with that. But when you start talking about 3 days and 4 days and 7 days and 14 days, a lot of people get stressed. But what I want to talk to you about is first is a fast that some guy did for 382 days. Okay, so it's one of the longest scientifically recorded fasts that we know of, and it's 382 days long. This gentleman fasted. Now, when he started this fast, he was 400 something pounds. He was an obese individual. During the fast, he lost 276 pounds. Now, I want to tell you too, this fast was supervised. He came out completely healthy on the other end with a lot of weight loss. And also during it, he took vitamins and he took minerals, and he once again was supervised by his doctor. Now, if you want to embark on a 100+ day fast, you definitely should work with your doctor on that, but we're just going to talk about some more short-term fasting like 3 days and 7 days. So anyway, once again, 382 days, he survived it and was very healthy on the other side of it. Now, when we talk about fasting and fat loss, most people actually want to lose that fat and want to lean up while doing a fast. So let's talk about how much you'll have. So on an average day, the typical person will burn about 2,000 calories per day. Now, 1 pound of fat equals about 3,500 calories. So if you want to lose 1 pound, you got to burn 3,500 calories. So in general, if you want to lose 10 pounds of fat, you need to do 20 days of fasting, okay? So if you're someone who's trying to calculate, well, man, I'd really like to lose about 20 pounds, you want to actually kind of calculate how many days of fasting you would need to do in order to make that happen. So that way, you know, you're kind of going into this with the, proper goals and really understanding what's going to come out of the other side of this. And so once again, 10 pounds of fat, you're going to have to fast for an average of 20 days there. Now, that's how much fat you'll lose. Now, let's talk about fasting duration. Okay, so there's a lot of ways to do it. Now, when I work with individuals, I typically talk about it in days, in time frames like this. I talk about like 3 day, 7 day, and 14 day, and then 14 day plus. Now, 3 days is one that I do often. I'll do a 3 day once a month or so. And then 7 days, 14 days, you know, these are all time frames which are very reasonable to do. When you start getting into the 14+ day fast, it becomes a little bit more difficult to do, but once again, it all depends on the individual. I like a 3 day fast because my job is very physical. And so with, needing a lot of energy and of course, not really trying to lose a whole bunch of weight, and sometimes not even necessarily having a reason that I'm doing it, just besides for general health purposes, a 3 day works pretty well for me. What to expect when doing the fast? Now, typically on the first day, you just have a lot of mental issues going on, right? You just want to eat food. Mentally, you're attracted to food. You're socially, you're kind of in this weird place because you're skipping your meals. You're not sitting down with your family, your friends. And so there's that stuff going on. But also, once again, mentally, you're very much attracted to food and wanting to go just sit down and eat. Now, day 2, a lot of the hunger pains are still there. So it can be a little bit frustrating, but typically by day 3, it's smooth sailing. The hunger pains start to go away. Mentally, you're like, okay, whatever, I can live without food. Clearly, I'm doing all right here, so I can continue on. So that's why some people, when you look at a 3 day fast, they don't like it because they say, well, basically, you're just going through that whole struggles for 3 days. Whereas if you just, go on to 4 days or 7 days, you're better off. You know what? Once again, I don't mind the struggle. It's just part of it. I know that it's like mentally, I'm always in a proper place before I go into a fast. I don't ever go into a fast like thinking about how I'm going to quit it as fast as possible. I just know that, hey, I'm doing this. This is the way it is. So these are some of the different durations in which I like to do fasting. And now let's talk about some of the reasons you shouldn't do it, okay? So some of the contraindications. Now, once again, these aren't necessarily that you can't do it. It's just that you should work with your doctor if you want to do it and you have this stuff going on. First thing is diabetes. Fasting is incredibly good for diabetes. But here's the thing is if you have diabetes, you need to work with your doctor. If you're on some sort of medication, then you need to work with your doctor. And you shouldn't ever just go off your medication. You shouldn't ever just jump into this stuff if you have a health concern without working with your doctor, because you don't want to have negative health consequences come out of this, okay? If you're someone who's underweight, it's not good for you to just go into a big long fast, because once again, you're already underweight. You need to actually work on putting some weight on if you're trying to, maintain proper health. So when we look at contraindications, always work with your doctor. If you have diabetes, some health concern, you're on a medication, it's very important to do so. And we don't ever, once again, want to use something that is supposed to improve your health and then destroy your health with it. It's obviously not a good idea. What to drink when you're fasting. So here's what I do. So typically when I'm doing these extended fasts, I will go and drink bone broth. Okay, it's good because it has lots of minerals, it has collagen in it. You put sea salt in it, so you're getting some of those electrolytes as well. I like to drink bone broth during it. I also like to make an electrolyte elixir. What I typically do is I'll take the no salt, so take some potassium, take some sea salt, mix it up, make sure that I'm getting some magnesium, and I'll put what I'll try to do is put in the description below this exact mixture that I use while I'm fasting. So I'll drink some electrolyte elixir, some bone broth. The other thing I'll do is it helps quench your hunger if you do some warm water and sea salt. So you just get some warm water, put a couple pinches of sea salt in it, mix it up, drink that. I'll do that. And then of course, just plain old water. Okay. And when you're doing a fast like this, you shouldn't restrict water intake. Some people ask, well, am I supposed to only have like a couple glasses of water? No, I recommend you drink as much water that you feel that you need during this time, because we want to be able to flush out toxins from our body and allow our body to be properly hydrated during this time as well. Starting and ending the fast. This is another big topic. So a lot of people ask me how I do this. I will start a extended fast. I will always make sure that I'm doing like intermittent fasting, 1 meal a day. And then sometimes I also like to be in the state of ketosis before even going into the fast, because when you are fasting, your body is going to make that transition. You're going to start burning ketones for energy, which is great. And that's one of the reasons your brain feels great. You have a lot of focus during a fast because those ketones rise exponentially in your body. And so these are some of the ways I like to start it. If you're just going cold turkey from a poor quality diet into a fast, it's typically going to be more challenging. So if you're already kind of, teased your body with some easier fasting, like intermittent fasting, 1 meal a day, it's going to be beneficial going in. If you're already in the state of ketosis because you're following the ketogenic diet, once again, it's going to be an easier transition for you. So think about all that. When I end my fast, here's like how I like to do it. First of all, I like to do it with steamed vegetables. I also like to do it with probiotic-rich foods to get those good probiotics in the gut. Many people today are suffering from a gut condition. When I think of fasting, I'm always thinking about healing the gut. One of the things that I do towards the end of my fast, so on the last day of my fast, I will do a vitamin C flush. So if you're doing a 3-day fast, this is going to be on day 3, you would do it. If you're doing a 7-day fast, you would do it on day 7. I'll do a vitamin C flush. Basically what you do is you take high doses of vitamin C and you take a specific type of vitamin C referred to as a buffered vitamin C. And what it does is it helps just flush the colon out. The reason I like to do this is because when you are doing your fast, all the bad bacteria, the candida overgrowth, all that stuff becomes more susceptible to being removed from the colon. And when you actually do this vitamin C flush, you will typically see a lot of it start coming out. I've seen a lot of people do this vitamin C flush and you can see bacterial colonies, you can see tons of candida, all kinds of stuff coming from the gut. So you want to flush that out, and I really like to do that at the end of my fast. And what I'll do is I'll put a link in the description below to a video that I did on the vitamin C flush. As a matter of fact, I'll put in the description below all the different videos that I have done that pertain to the information that we talked about today. So like, for instance, how to make bone broth, how to do a vitamin C flush, how to do intermittent fasting. I'll put all that stuff in the description here below so you can go back to those videos and you can educate yourself further on that if that's what you'd like to do. So that's how I start and end my fast. That's how I go about doing my fast for 3 days, 4 days, 7 days. And I like, once again, I really like doing extended day fasting. I think it has incredible benefits to your health. And if you're someone who has some different issues going on, work with your doctor. It never hurts to have someone who is overlooking the whole process for you and making sure that you're doing things correctly. So be sure to share this video with your friends. I'd greatly appreciate that. Give it a thumbs up. And then also, if you have any questions, put it in the comment section here below. And then lastly, be sure to subscribe to my channel here. I'd greatly appreciate that. And then be sure to check out my other videos on how you can improve your health. I'll see you in the next video.